Which one? The boobs, I win. Yeah.
Comment below. There you go. See, she's learning, guys. She's learning. Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. You know that every great ride starts with the sound of a Harley coming to life. This trip, well, it's all about the Backroads. See, we're rolling out of Dallas, Georgia and heading north. No interstates, no rush, just the open country and a whole lot of small town America between us and the Kentucky line. The goal. What is our goal, you ask? Well, it's simple. We're going to cross that Kentucky border the right way, slow and easy, and make our way. Our first stop is one of the oldest distilleries just across the line, Dueling Grounds Distillery in Franklin, Kentucky. Now this stretch of road feels different. You can smell the sweet mix of farmland and oak just aging somewhere nearby. Kentucky's got that kind of air. You know you're in bourbon country the second you cross over. Now Dueling Grounds Distillery, this place has history written all over it. It's named after the old dueling fields just down the road where men once settled their differences with pistols at dawn. Not the kind of history that you find in a textbook, but the kind you feel in the soil, in the stories, and you know, maybe even in the bourbon. They make small batch, handcrafted bourbon right here in Franklin. Their flagship bourbon is known as Lincoln Pinch. Now, it pays tribute to the whiskey that was once made illegally in these parts for over a century. It's aged in new American oak barrels, and it carries the same spirit of grit and tradition that built this town. What makes Dueling Grounds special isn't just their whiskey, it's their story. They brought back legal distilling to Simpson County for the first time since Prohibition. It's a reminder that sometimes, you know, the best things are worth bringing back, even one barrel at a time. So that's stop number one on our back road bourbon run. From here, we will keep chasing those quiet roads, good stories, and a little Kentucky heat in a glass. Because out here, it's not just the destination, it's about the ride, the road, and the spirit that ties them all together. Hey, thanks for joining us. Be sure to hit like and subscribe and comment on the video and share with your friends. Thanks a lot, and thanks for coming along.
That's pretty cool. I guess that's the name of soldiers that were killed or something.
Freedom's just a highway, but I'm still stuck in.
All right, so like I said, first off, we're going to talk about the history of the place, where our name comes from, the name of the bourbon. We'll talk about bourbon a little bit, and then I'll send you in the back with Robbie, and he'll show you around the production area.
Sure.
I just saw there one little tag right there.
Which one? The boobs, I win. Yeah. Yeah. That was one of her first patches that she got. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, so I win,
Yeah, that's right. You win.
So, first off, my name is Santos.
Sweet.
I manage the front.
Nice.
So the bar, the gift shop, and we run a little pizza kitchen over here in the corner.
Cool.
The distillery opened to the public in September of 2016, so it's our 9-year anniversary this month.
Nice.
I started in April of 2017, about 6 months after they opened. At that time, it was pretty much just me and Mark, the owner. We were doing pretty much all the production by ourselves. Tours were very unstructured because we didn't know what we were doing yet. We filled less than 30 barrels in 2017. We've kind of increased production by roughly 50 barrels every year, so we did a little bit over 200 last year. We're also in the process of installing a new still that is 4 times bigger than the one we've been using.
Nice.
So we'll have the capacity to grow with that new one. We usually have around 12 employees now, depending on the time of the year. And there is also a couple of other locations. We just opened up a storefront in Cave City, bottle shop, gift shop, and a bar. At some point in the future, it will also become a barrel house where people can bottle their own bottles straight from the barrel.
That's cool. Yeah.
Also, about 4 or 5 miles from here sits an old stagecoach inn called the Sanford Duncan Inn. and you can do tours of that place. It is operated by the local tourism department, but it is related to us. So this inn is where duelers would spend the night before their duels. It was situated close to a farm where all those duels were held. The area in which that farm was located was known as Lincoln Bench. So that's where the name of the bourbon comes from. The dueling grounds at Lincoln Bench was home to over 40 documented duels. The majority of those duels were between lawyers and politicians, mostly out of Nashville. Not like we see in the movies, though. They weren't trying to kill each other. There was actually a code of dueling, which meant they were trying to injure or disarm the other person so that they won their case or their dispute. The most famous duel that we had here was in 1826, and that was between Sam Houston and William White. It is the same Sam Houston that we know from Texas history.
Yep, that's exactly. I know that Sam Houston. So
He was a state representative in Tennessee at the time.
Okay.
He got challenged to a duel because he was trash talking the Postmaster General appointee, mainly because it was a political enemy of his friend Andrew Jackson. The Postmaster chose to send his friend William White to challenge Houston. They chose to have it here at the Dueling Grounds because of its proximity to Nashville, where he was a representative.
Okay.
Already kind of a famous place for hosting duels, and the fact that dueling was illegal pretty much everywhere. However, there was a plot of land between the states of Tennessee and Kentucky that was a contested area between the two. Neither state really had jurisdiction there, so it was kind of a no man's land. So Houston came and stayed at that Sanford Duncan Inn for a couple of weeks before his duel. The pistols they used for the duels were identical, and they were kept at the inn. So he went a little early so he could practice, fashioned his own bullets while he was there. The inn was also a tavern, so if anyone needed a little liquid courage before they go out to their duel, they could get one at the bar. Even Andrew Jackson spent the night there before he had a duel on the Red River, which is just a few miles away from that inn. So lots of dueling going on in this area back in the early 1800s. Day of the duel, Houston and White took their spots. Houston got his shot off first. He ended up shooting William White in the groin. White screamed out, "You've killed me." He didn't actually die for quite a few years, but I'm sure he felt like he was, or maybe wished he was in that moment. Now, the very last duel that we had that kind of ended all the duels was in 1827. Attorney Calvin Smith shot and killed attorney Robert Brank, and he was charged with murder in both states. Never went to trial in Kentucky, but he was convicted in Tennessee. At that point, the Tennessee Supreme Court stated that if any more of their lawyers participated in any more duels, they would be disbarred from the law profession. So, for fear of disbarment, that kind of brought an end to the duels in this area. Now, in the state of Kentucky, we have a very rich history of dueling, especially between politicians, that you can still see its impact on the current Kentucky Constitution. If you are an elected government official or an appointed public servant in the state of Kentucky, part of your oath for office still includes the affirmation that being a citizen of the state, I've never fought a duel with deadly weapons in or out of the state, sent or accepted a challenge for a duel,
that's pretty cool.
or acted as a second. So
That's pretty cool.
they still have to say that to this day.
That's cool.
And that's across the board. Governors, representatives, police officers, firefighters, notaries, school board members, attorneys, pretty much anyone that's elected or appointed to a state position has to say they've never fought a duel before.
That's pretty cool.
Now, like I said, in a few minutes, I'm going to hand you over to Robbie. When you come back from that, if you want to take a moment to take a closer look at the map of Tennessee and Kentucky that we have back there in the corner. If you look at the state line between the two, it's a fairly straight line, except for a couple of spots. One of those spots is right here in Simpson County. The state line takes a very small 2.5 mile dip, dips down into Tennessee and back up. So in that dip currently is Kentucky Downs and the Mint, which is our local gaming center horse track. Somewhere in that area is where that Dueling Grounds used to be. So if we imagine a straight line over that little dip, that little triangular area there was that contested area, the border, which does belong to Kentucky Downs. So the horse track there used to be called Dueling Grounds Racecourse. They changed their name to Kentucky Downs in the late 1990s. So when Mark, the owner and founder, was coming up with the concept for this place, he felt like that was a perfect name to revive, to use for the distillery. gives us a nice connection to the town, a way to kind of showcase some of that small town history, and makes for good logos. Everybody likes the guns and
Yeah.
bourbon.
Yeah, I love that right there. Sip, don't shoot. Yeah.
I came up with that.
Did
Did you? That's cool. Okay.
Now, have y'all been to a bourbon distillery before?
Jack Daniels.
Okay. Tennessee whiskey.
Yeah.
A little bit different. Not very much. We'll talk a little bit about what that is. But so before sending you back, just going to talk about bourbon a little bit. So there's a statement about bourbon that says all bourbon is whiskey, but not all whiskey is bourbon.
Right.
Sometimes that confuses people. So I tell them you can say the same thing about wine. All Merlots are wines, but not all wines are Merlots.
Okay.
Same kind of concept. So just like wine is a big umbrella term, and we have different types of wine, also think of whiskey as an umbrella term, and we have different types of whiskey. Bourbon, Scotch, Irish, Tennessee, Canadian, Japanese, rye whiskeys, malt whiskeys. They all have their own set of rules, but they're all whiskeys, and they all share this one thing in common. They are all spirits that are distilled from grains and aged in wood. So if you've done those two things, you have a whiskey. What type of whiskey you have depends on location, where's it being made, what type of grains are you using to produce it, and to some extent, what type of barrel are you aging in. So if you want to call your whiskey bourbon, the first 3 rules we have to follow are easy to remember by your ABCs. A, America. Bourbon has to be made in the United States.
Yep.
In 1964, the federal government proclaimed bourbon America's native spirit, so we're the only ones that can make it.
Huh.
Now, contrary to popular belief, it does not have to come from Kentucky to be a bourbon. But over 93% of all bourbon is made in Kentucky. It's the birthplace of bourbon, and we like to think that only good bourbon is made in Kentucky.
Yeah.
But pretty much every state at this point has a distillery that either produces or sources bourbon for that state. B, barrel. Bourbon has to be aged in a new charred white oak barrel. Cannot be used. If it's a used barrel, you're making a different type of product. C stands for corn. We have to have at least 51% corn in the mash bill. The other 49% is up to the distiller, but most people go higher than that. For example, we have 66% corn in ours. And that's how all these bourbons across the state start off tasting different from each other. Everyone's using different ratios of grains and different strains of those grains as well. Doesn't even have to be one specific type of corn. There are bourbons in Kentucky made from varieties of yellow corn, white corn, blue corn, bloody butcher corn, heirloom corn. As long as it's 51% of any strain of corn, it can qualify as a bourbon. Now, whiskey in general can be made out of any type of grain. There's rye whiskeys, there's malt whiskeys, which is barley. You can use things like wheat, rice, oats, quinoa. As long as it's a grain, it can be used in the production of a whiskey. And all those grains I mentioned can be in bourbon. As long as you have that 51% corn, you can have as many other grains as you want. But for the most part, most of your bourbons are 3 ingredients. It's usually corn, rye, and barley, or corn, wheat, and barley. We fall into the wheat category, mainly because that's what we grow in this area. All 3 of our grains all come from the same farm. It's about 10 miles from there. Proof levels. There are a few proof levels that we have to meet throughout the process. It cannot be distilled any higher than 160 proof, so it has to be less than that when you're collecting it off the still. Sounds like a pretty high alcohol content, but we can't put that into a barrel any higher than 125. So you have to add enough water to get it to 125 proof or less before it can go in that barrel. We currently put ours in at 115 proof. Bottling has to be done at least 80 proof. That's the lowest it can go into the bottle for bourbons. So far, all of our bourbons have been bottled at 100 proof or higher. Last rule, we can't have any added sugars, flavors, colors, or additives. That's probably my favorite thing that separates bourbon from other whiskeys. You go to liquor stores, you're going to find things like cinnamon whiskeys, maple, honey, peach, apple, peanut butter, caramel.
Always say they're trying to hide something.
Yeah, right. Sometimes you even see caramel coloring added to some whiskeys as well. But bourbon's just bourbon. Whatever comes out of that barrel is what we get. The only thing we're allowed to add to it is water to adjust that alcohol content before it goes into those bottles.
So I can drink just get my water.
You can. Now, how do y'all? What water do y'all source? Do y'all do?
So it's city water, and it runs through an RO system, reverse
Okay,
osmosis
osmosis.
system.
Okay.
And you do hear a lot of talk about limestone water and all that kind of stuff in Kentucky, and some places are like, we're getting it from this creek or this aquifer or whatever, which is true, but they're probably also running it through a reverse osmosis system. But that's kind of why Kentucky and Tennessee both have a lot of limestone, so that's kind of why whiskey is born in these areas. Kind of. All right, I think that wraps up the history and the bourbon rules. Any other questions, comments about anything?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, that was good.
All right.
Yeah, I like the history.
You can follow me to the back here, and I'll hand you over the bottle.
Makes you want to drink it, don't
You
it?
want to drink it?
What? Yeah. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Do you mind if you tell me? Can I film some stuff?
Yeah, go
Okay.
ahead.
All right. Perfect.
We don't have any
Good.
secrets here.
All right. Good. Well, I love that
Raina,
smell.
Nice to meet
Hey,
you.
Raina?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Eric.
Eric, nice to meet
yep,
y'all.
Yep.
Y'all
Same
from
here.
around here?
Georgia. Yeah, Dallas, Georgia. So,
I know where that
yeah,
is.
we're military fire and cops,
Nice.
an MC. So we're coming up here. Our vet city, kind of in
Bowling Green?
yeah, Bowling Green,
Yeah.
is having a poker run tomorrow. So we riding up a day early to support them, and I wanted to come by here. So
No, the
Sounds
day
like
early
fun.
was for here.
yeah,
Well, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
Right.
day early is
Yeah.
for here.
yeah.
I ride too. We got weather on our side right now.
Yes, beautiful.
Yes.
I wish the trees were a little bit. But give it a couple weeks, and it'll be.
I was going to say we're about 2 weeks out.
Yeah.
I was thinking, maybe we might get some colors, but wow.
Well, this is our production room. Everything's made right here.
Cool.
Love that smell.
It's. I know we picked a great time. We just cooked yesterday, mashed yesterday, so that's fresh fermentation going on right now. In fact, hang out right here. Let me bring the stairs
Okay.
around. So
Okay,
you can take
sure.
a look at it. Take a good smell.
That's cool, isn't it? Do you like? Oh, come on. You can talk. Sold. So are these barrel picks for somebody?
Well, one of them that's sitting on the floor is our pick, and that's actually in a bottle already.
I
That's
just
what's up front.
I saw it said sold. I didn't know if those
Oh
were.
yeah, these two are going to Barrel Global. It's another business that buys barrels once in a while from us,
And they do blending and stuff like that, or yeah, probably.
or let them age longer. I don't
Yep.
know
Yeah.
what they do. They've been buying things periodically from us, barrels, about the last year and a half or so.
Cool.
Anyway, so the only thing we're not going to go check out is our boiler. That's not that exciting to look at, and that's what's in the metal shipping container, which is fine with us this time of year. It's not climate controlled back
Right.
here. So let's walk out here. I'll show you where we keep our grains.
What now?
Now I know why there's so much corn.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Corn everywhere around here.
Everywhere, yes.
So corn being the largest part of our grain bill, that's what's in the largest silo over here. This one's full of wheat. Doesn't look like the other two, but our barley is stored in here. Works exactly the same. The way we know how much is in there, these little black triangular shaped feet are weight sensors. They're basically sitting on a scale. We don't have any computers running anything, but we do have a little panel in there that tells us how many pounds we have in there, how much we're bringing into the building. Each one of these silos, you might notice, has a white pipe that comes out of the bottom. There's an auger inside that pipe that brings the grains over into that little white apparatus. We've got a hammer mill inside there that grinds these grains into a powder, which comes down to the bottom, and into the building through this larger trunk right here.
Has another one of those.
Yep, got an auger inside each
Yeah.
one of those. Yeah, it's not air.
That's like one of
force.
those like a flexible type auger, and it's got the little.
Looks like a really big slinky
Yeah.
or a corkscrew kind of a thing.
Yeah.
It takes about 2 minutes from the time we start the augers and the grinder before it starts to flow out there into our mash tun. So,
So
it's
do you-
nice and gentle and slow.
So do y'all put in like? How do you tell it to do so much corn and so much
Right in here.
computer? Okay.
Yeah, there's a team from Bardstown that came here and put all this stuff together.
Oh, really?
You
Well,
see, it's all
that's cool.
wired up and everything.
Yep.
Comes in here. The grains are going to continue through this white pipe up here and over into our mash tun, which we did yesterday. But right over here, I can show you how we know what we do over here. It's nothing automated, like I was kind of mentioning, but yeah, we'll start the augers, and then we'll start the grinder, and then we'll pick either our corn, wheat, or barley that we're going to send in. This is how many pounds we have. And we'll do a manual right too, just in case something goes screwy there. You might be off by a couple of numbers here and there, give or take a pound. That's not going to make that big a difference
Right.
when you have about 1,600 pounds of grains in there. So. But anyway,
For sure. What's the hammer
cool.
for?
that's our bung cover.
Boom.
Close the bung hammer. Wood on wood. Sounds good too.
Yeah.
Better, that does less damage than a metal hammer.
You was thinking the idea of bringing it, hitting me in the head with it.
Yes. I was.
It could be a weapon. Nice and light and fast with it.
Yeah.
So I will show you our grains a little bit. Just talk about that just a little bit more. This is what everything looks like when it's ground. It's pretty fine, like corn meal almost. And I don't have to tell you this before, but we use a yellow #1 dent variety corn. We use 66% in the recipe, 22% red winter wheat, and 12% malted barley. Same mash bill every cook, every time. And all three of these are grown on the same farm in Shockoe, Kentucky. That's about 15, 20 minutes from here. The farm's called Walnut Grove, and it's a 6th generation farm. It's non-GM. It's as local and organic as it gets, and I think so too. Mark's been making it like that from day one. They're our friends too. They come in here for drinks and pizza like everybody else, especially when we have like derby events and things like
Yeah.
that.
Oh, imagine, yes.
We get our water like everybody else in town. Drake's Creek is the water source. That's a river that comes through Simpson County. Goes through the treatment plant. You might notice as we walk around, there's a big yellow tank by the back wall. It's foamed up with insulation because keep 2,000 gallons of that water chilled down to 45 degrees all the time. And there's a couple different times we need just ice cold water to cool things. Pretty efficient. But anyway,
Cool.
we will go in 1 week from raw grains to fill in bottles. I'll show you how we do that.
So you go in the mash tun. It does it for ferments for a week, and then, or you said bottles, right?
Well, we're gonna-
or going into the
Well, before we put it in barrels.
Barrels, yeah.
So what happens first is we get a bunch of water in the mash tun, right here, 370 gallons to be exact. Then we're going to send in the corn first at 150 degrees. Then we're going to heat that up even higher to 190 degrees when it's all in there, and we'll hold it right there for 45 minutes at 190. First time we're going to use some of that ice cold water is right now. We're going to pump some of that in there and lower that temperature back to 150. Then we'll send in the wheat and the barley. And then we'll hold it there at 150 for another 45 minutes. So for an hour and a half, technically, we've been cooking these grains. It takes longer than that to get it all in there, but we count it for an hour and a half. We've converted all the starches in these grains into sugars that are just right for our yeast during fermentation. With our grain and water additions along the way, we make a 1,000 gallon sweet mash in this tun right here. So before we can go to fermentation, though, we have to cool the mash down. Rather than waiting a couple of days, the way we do it, this little gold-colored pump pulls the mash out of the front exit right here, sends it in the pipe going underneath the mash tun. That winds up in our heat exchanger. A series of pipes back here on the back where it's going to circulate through there and return on the other side of the tun. That mash is actually circulating through a pipe that is jacketed by a larger pipe with some of that ice cold water flowing. That's how that works. It takes about 2.5 hours to get it all cooled down. Once we get there, we'll divide that in half and we'll put 500 gallons in this tank, 500 in the tank right behind it. I'm going to head up the stairs with one of these. This is how we get our yeast. This is 500 grams. We're going to sprinkle that entire amount in there. And the yeast will go to work consuming the sugar that we've made for it. And they'll convert those sugars into CO2 and alcohol. After only 4 days, fermentation will be complete. And they'll make right around 10% alcohol that fast. That's how we're able to go in 1 week from raw grains to barreling. One pretty cool thing I think during the fermentation process is the energy that the yeast are going to put out in addition to the great smells that we're smelling. So if you want to like feel this tank and then feel this one,
how much warmer this is. Yeah.
that's less than 24 hours in there.
Wow.
You're more than welcome to go upstairs if you want to look at it and
Yeah.
get a good smell. But that's what it looks like when it's
Come
working.
up here. Look.
You're trying to push me down.
No, I'm not. And there's no unlike wine, you don't punch this down, nothing. You just let it sit. Okay.
Not until it's finished, which is after 4 days, it'll just stop working. That yeast will start to die off.
And y'all leave it open.
We
Just leave it open.
Mother Nature has.
Yeah, it's creating its own little cap kind of deal there. So
Yeah.
it's yeah. I love that smell.
It does smell like the bread.
Yeah.
Butter.
Pretty
Yeah.
strong. Yeah.
Yeah.
When the doors have been closed all night, you come in, it's really strong. Nice.
Good.
So anyway, about first of next week, we're going to document how much alcohol the yeast made for us, stir it all up to get rid of that cap, and so it's all It kind of looks like a thin grits when it's all back to a mash. Then we're going to pump it into our still over here. This where things get a little bit more interesting. There are a lot of different types of stills in the world. We got pot stills, column stills, all kind of different shapes and sizes. This is our hybrid pot still, column still, and this one holds 250 gallons. So we would typically run this twice a day when we're stripping one of our fermenters worth of mash. It's about a 4.5 to 5 hour process. But the way it works, we fill it up, we lock down the lid nice and tight. This is called the manway. Turn on the heat, and when the temperature gets to about 170 degrees, that's when alcohols are going to start to vaporize and travel up through this copper column, across this line arm at the top, and into this next column. This has a condenser sleeve around the outside of it. That's cooled by that cold water from the big tank. That helps draw everything over till they will reliquefy and travel out that spout right there. That's called the parrot, same name as the bourbon. And we do a double distillation like most whiskey makers. Finish telling you about the first one first. When it starts to flow over here on the first strip, it's going to be around 150 to 155 proof. We watch it every 30 minutes till that number gets down to all the way down to 20 proof. So we've got all the alcohol and flavor out of the mash that we can get through distillation. And at this point, we got to get rid of 200 and some gallons of spent grains in here, all the corn, wheat, and water left over. So we pump that out to a container in the parking lot, and then one of our local farmers feeds that to his cows. And it's free for them. It takes us 5 minutes to get rid of it. So it's a great no-waste situation.
Yeah.
When we've collected enough of that first run, we'll do our second distillation. We call that a spirit run. Now this time, of course, it'll be just liquid in the still. Same routine though, we turn on the heat, and when the temperature gets hot enough, it's going to vaporize over. Only this time, when it starts to flow out of the parrot over there, we're going to separate 3 different sections. We call those the heads, hearts, and tails. Kind of like the beginning, middle, and end. Have y'all heard this before?
Yeah.
Y'all familiar with this?
I am, yeah.
I'll go through it real quick. In bourbon making rules, Santos probably let you know we can't be over 160 proof, which is really high. Everything over 160 proof is our head section. For this size still, it's pretty small. That's only about 2 to 4 gallons. That contains a lot of acetone and methanol. That will vaporize over first. We don't want to drink that.
That's stuff that makes you go blind back in the
That's
days.
some of that stuff that
Yeah.
makes you go blind. Or worse.
Yeah, right.
And so anyway, we're not going to drink that. We discard that first little bit. We collect it in that little ugly bucket right there. Nobody's getting sick here. Once we're at 150 proof though, we keep that till it gets down to 125 proof. That's our hearts. Right there in the middle, that's what goes in the barrel. The good stuff. Yeah, exactly.
So how much out of one of these tanks will you end up getting to be able to put into a barrel? How many barrels will that?
One of those that equals 1 barrel. 500 gallons of mash equals 1 barrel.
One barrel.
Through our process here. Now, one last thing I'll tell you about is our tails section. After 125 proof, down to 80 proof, that's the end. Well, that's another 25 to 30 gallons of good alcohol and flavor. We don't waste that. We mix that with our first distillation we made earlier in the week. We redistill that too. So there's no waste at the end there. So that's how that works. If you've seen a lot of people ask about moonshiners, they've seen the show on TV, you see the copper coils, where's that? They always ask. This
Yeah.
is basically the modern version of that.
yeah.
It cools everything down and brings it over. It's a lot more efficient, a lot faster.
So this is what you had hanging out of your pipe that went into your Home Depot bucket?
Correct.
Of what
I have copper pipe, yeah.
The
Yeah,
little-
she bought me, so I have dabbled in homemade moonshine.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dabble.
Sa-
We
sa-
don't sell it.
Yeah, we don't sell it. I've done jalapeno, which was a huge hit. I would give it to some friends,
Yeah, sure.
you know. But she bought me off the show a little coon pecker bone,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
like the old timers would put in, stick
Put
that
in
in
their hats up there.
Yeah, yeah. And so she bought that for me, and people was like, "What in the world?" I was like, "I used it." I mean, I was like, you know,
Amazon.
yeah,
They found them on
Amazon.
I wonder where Amazon sourced
yeah.
them.
I don't know. I don't know. But I lost it, and I was like, So if I do it again, I just stick a stick in there just so it doesn't wrap underneath, you know, back and miss the bucket. But
Sure.
yeah, yeah. That's funny.
It's ingenious. Why they chose that way back when, I don't know. But it's a bone.
Right? Yeah. I mean,
No doubt.
what made them pick that over something else? I don't want to know.
I
Really?
don't know either. Well, hey, I want to tell you about this right quick. This big still behind me. This holds 1,000 gallons. We just got it a few months ago. We're still ironing out a few last little kinks, but it's obviously 4 times the size of this still. We're going to be able to do in our very near future in 1 week what it takes us all month to do right now. So we're going to be a lot more efficient. This guy, we're hoping to fire it up for the first time next week.
So it's a semi I mean, I guess it would be a pot still, but then also the reflux or the a little tower like this one, but just not as tall. I've seen some that go.
Some are gigantic.
Some are like 10 stories, so look like like 10 feet tall. But
yeah, some of those things that like a
and what's the? I mean, what do you? I've never understood the windows. Does the windows tell you something differently, or depending on like the proof as it's going up, or is that?
We can harness these and really shut off and really have a slow walk, so to speak, getting our stuff out by closing these windows out. But each one of those, you can tell, has happened before where it gets just too hot in here and that mash will bubble up into there. You don't want that.
Gotcha.
So we'll have to turn the heat down and get it back down. That kind of helps us do that. We can also see these vapor trails that are coming on the inside there. And also, if you look inside that window, you'll see what we call, there's 15 of those little copper dome looking pieces.
Yeah, I see that.
Those are called bubble caps. 15 of those on each, in each plate there. That's really, all that copper is going to really harness all that heavy water and keep it down here and only let those really light alcohol vapors over. Plus, the reason you see copper in all distilleries is as a metal, copper leaches out sulfites. We don't want sulfur in our bourbon or our beer for that matter. So that's all the copper you need to take care of business. And we're just going to use this for our spirit run, that second distillation. We don't need that on this big guy. And yes, to your point, that is a pot still. It's just 4 times bigger. And we don't need copper in there yet. So it is stainless inside now. Stainless is light.
So we all use that and then do it here? Yeah, it's
so
like the second run basically
exactly.
here?
So instead of doing 2 or 4 actually,
Yeah.
4.5 hour ones, we'll do one big one right there. We don't know what that's like yet. Hoping we'll
When
find out.
are y'all hoping to get that going?
Hopefully next week.
Really? So that's awesome.
It's already had its citrus bath inside to get rid of all the oils and all that stuff. These were incidentally made at this by the same company over in Doniphan, Missouri, so in the southeast part of the state.
And how in the world did y'all get that in here?
We had this stuff
All
all
pushed?
pushed to that side of the
Okay.
room, and we had a local guy that has an industrial forklift to get it in here, but they showed up with a long, like 40-foot trailer flatbed with this stuff on the back of it.
Wow.
They brought it in here one piece at a time, and we started putting it together.
Yeah, it's got to be exciting there.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've been our production has been down for about 2 or 3 months, which is odd for us. We're typically in production year-round, 6 days a week back here. But this guy caused us a little bit of a pause, but we learned that we can take care of tourism a whole lot better if we just don't have any production going during the summer, just for a couple of months. And we could definitely, with this big guy, make up for lost any downtime that
Sure.
we've experienced. We also want to open the door for contract distilling. We don't have anything booked, but we'd love to do, as a small business, great to have some extra work with this big guy.
Yeah, I was asking one of the guys up front at the bar, had he ever heard of Bruzel on YouTube?
Mm-hmm.
And he hadn't. And I said, well, he's probably one of the biggest names in the bourbon industry as far as like a YouTuber.
Okay.
And he travels the country. His company that he owns allows him to do a lot of traveling. But then he goes and just bourbon hunts at all these liquor stores throughout the U.S.
Oh yeah.
And so he goes and looks for the rare ones. Yeah, the unicorns as he calls them.
Yeah.
But he's just recently he wanted to get in to doing bourbon himself. So they've bought a facility. He's sourcing bourbon. He's contracting the juice out from somewhere else.
Yeah.
And then doing blending and that kind of stuff. So I don't know. That might be.
A palate like that, he'd probably be pretty good at all those things. Blending and all
He's
that.
he has a big following, and he's fun to watch. I mean, he's a big old boy, and
I'm about to check it out one of these days.
it's just Bruzel, just like a brew, like a beer, but then Zool on the end, Bruzel. So he's
S-U-L at the end?
Brewzle.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can remember that.
Yeah, he's got stuff comes out almost every single day. It seems like. So
What a fun job.
yeah, right. Yeah.
I drink from
Yeah,
it.
right. And he's got a few thousand bottles back at his home, but he has a big club. You can join the memberships, and you can come by the house and drink and all that kind of stuff. So,
Well, I'm going to show you how we fill those barrels next. That's our next step after we made that good stuff. We'll hold it all in this spirit tank right here, all of our hearts, that is. And then to fill the barrel, we just roll an empty one up on that scale. You have a weight calculation that tells us how much hearts, how much water to put in there to make it exactly 115 proof. And that number's up to the distiller, and that's just part of our flavor profile, is that barrel entry number. From this point forward, if I mention we're adding water to stuff, we're not using our tap water anymore. We use some reverse osmosis water. That little tank and machine over there filters out all the minerals and treatment plant stuff, so it's pure H2O going into the barrel. Then after we fill up a few barrels, we run them over to Wilderness Trail Distillery. It's in Danville, Kentucky, about 3 hours northeast of here, which I want to ride to because it's over in the mountains over there.
Yeah.
In the eastern part of the state. But we lease space in one of their rick houses to age our barrels for a minimum of 4 years. Love to tell you we got our own rick house right out back or next door, but Mark got a quote last year at $2 million to build one. So
Wow.
it's
You know, I've
really
seen people,
serious.
you know, it's funny, I've seen people, I guess it was more of climates that aren't the best climates for a rick house, and they've had them in shipping containers.
Oh yeah.
They did somehow where they could get them into the shipping containers, and it's a pain in the butt to get the ones in the back out, but that's how they were. It was kind of interesting watching them do that. I was like, that's
I
different.
do know a distillery about an hour west of here that did that.
Yeah.
Old Casey Jones. And talk about a pain in the butt. Yes, they're 500 pounds full. These barrels are, and they got to open the doors every day to let let it air out a little bit.
Yeah.
But to your point, we do have all 4 seasons here. It's not too much different from where you guys live. So it's here in the southeast. It's perfect for barrel aging.
So all of these here are bought by B&G or whatever it is?
No,
or
just
is
those two right there. These 4, or I'm sorry, 8 are empty. We lease our barrels, so they go to a business that sells them on the secondary market for us. And we started doing that about 2 years ago when we had 25, 30 empty barrels in our small space waiting for somebody to buy one. So
Right.
we just get rid of them now. But there's dozens of secondary uses, as you're probably aware.
Oh, yeah.
Breweries, wineries.
Yeah, I kept looking for one. I found, actually, the one I think I've got was a wine, but it's still, I've got it out there between my garage doors. You know, I wanted a barrel like that outside.
Yeah.
So,
We have sold barrels before we started doing the lease thing to a moonshiner that makes a lot over in East Tennessee. And I think he bought 4 or 5 different barrels from us. Haven't tasted his aged part, his product, but his non-aged was pretty good.
so y'all buy your new American oak barrels from one
Kelvin
of the
Coopers.
Kelvin Coopers?
Hey,
Okay.
Kelvin's up in Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah.
They've been up there since the early 60s making brand new barrels. Now the oak is sourced from all over North America, southern Canada too. It is the most common wood grown in the United States. And there are societies around that to keep that status preserved because we don't want to over harvest, of course.
Yeah.
We all have a one-time use barrel. The wood's only aged for about a year before they make barrels out of it. So all the sugar that's in there is going to get charred when they char the interior. That's where we get those good caramel flavors and brown sugar notes and 100% of the color. And we use a level 3 out of 4 char.
Char, okay.
That's up to the distiller as well. It's part of our flavor and our color. So the barrels sit there for 4 years. When they come back here after they've aged, that's when we decide what's going to either be our small batch bottled in bond or the single barrel cask strength.
Is that when y'all get to plug it and taste it? It's like, that's
Exactly.
yeah, that would be
Yeah.
a fun job.
It is it's a good day. Sometimes it's in the morning, sometimes it's
Yeah.
in the afternoon. When we're in need of a single barrel, we'll take a group of about 6 or 7 that are around the same age, take samples out, give them a smell and taste test, and we'll just pick one to be a single barrel. It'll be easy because they don't rotate barrels for us in the rick house. So some could be in the cold or cool in the
yeah.
floor,
Some be at the
some
top.
could be up there in the heat.
Now, and I've heard, I think we've heard it somewhere, and we were questioning, like in those rick houses, say a 4-year barrel. I mean, do you know how many? These are what, 52 gallon?
53.
53. So do you put 50? Do you leave some headspace? Correct.
Just a thumb's length.
Okay.
in the top.
How much actually out of 4 years does it actually evaporate, or how much do you lose?
We'll lose around 20%.
Okay.
Give or take a little. There's 250 bottles of bourbon in there before it leaks out, either to evaporation or absorption. I said 20% around. We usually have around 200 bottles, 210, something like that. It's pretty average. And you do lose about 3% every year after that for
Wow.
the same reason.
So you get some of these 18-year and 10-year and all that. Barrels about half full by the
Well,
time.
they're expensive.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
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 So we've got our single barrel picked out. Out of that group, it's going to get bottled from the barrel to the bottle, whatever proof number that evolved to, whatever flavor that is, straight to the bottle. We don't cut it. We do put our barrel on our little forklift, take out the bung cover and tip it over. We hold a wire strainer and some cheesecloth to filter out the char that's in there, but that's the only filtration we use. If we see a little bit of dust in the bottom of our bottle, we're okay with that. It's part of the craft thing. Now we're going to take 4 barrels out of that group that weren't chosen to be singles. They're still pretty similar in smell and taste. They're all good, by the way. We're going to blend those 4 together to make our small batch bottled in bond. It's only 4 barrels. It's how small our batch is. Larger distilleries, say like Four Roses or Buffalo Trace, they might use 200 barrels in their small batch. That's a marketing term. A bottled in bond is not. When you see that phrase on a label, it just means that the barrels had to be aged in a bonded warehouse for a minimum of 4 years, exactly 100 proof in the bottle. If you're going to blend them like we do, and they're aged off-site like ours, they have to return to their original distillation site to be blended. And they have to be the same age within 6 months. One more thing, since you don't live terribly far away, I'll tell you about. We have barrels number 3, 4, 5, and 6 that Mark made before we even opened here. Our anniversary 9th was September. 1 year from right now, we're going to have all 4 of those barrels released as part of our Founders Club, Founders Series. And they're going to be really, really tasty.
And where are they at now?
We've already put those in some stainless steel to stop the aging.
Yeah.
I'm told we're going to double oak those for a few months and let that sit for a little
Yeah,
bit.
I love the double oak stuff.
And it's also sitting at like 139 proof. We're going to be adjusting that way on down. Talk about burning all the way down to the other end.
Yeah.
We did that when we tasted it. So, but all of our stuff comes through this bottler back here. We started. We'll do our 4-barrel blend right here, but we'll take bottles one at a time right there. 4 at a time under the bottler. It takes about 30 seconds to fill them up. One of our dueling pistol caps. We'll hand cork them. You might see up front we have these metal medallions that sit right above our labels. We'll just peel that wax sticker off and stick them in the right spot. Shrink wrap the top. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
4 at a time. Put them back in the case and.
Put them back in the box to keep them clean, and that's where they sit for a short while. And we bottle as needed. It's not a daily thing. Our
Yeah.
single barrels are always different, so there's a label on the back of it where we're going to handwrite the barrel number, the age, proof, and ABVs and all that stuff. So if you imagine a couple hundred bottles lined up here waiting to be written on, it takes a few minutes to knock that out. There are just 2 of us that do everything back here. So it's,
That's pretty cool, though. I like the small. There's one thing about commercializing, like Jack Daniels was, crazy. We toured that 2 years ago, but then seeing the smaller, companies that doing this kind of stuff, it's to me that. I mean, you're in such a market that's I guess probably thousands of distillers out there that are doing this.
Yeah, man.
And to play, not that you're not a big dog, but to play in the big dogs world with Four Roses and all those,
Yeah, they're international.
oh yeah,
And doing well.
and Jack Daniels and stuff like that. Yeah, this fine. Now, where all do y'all ship to?
So we're distributed statewide on the ground in Kentucky and Tennessee, and then we have an online distributor that gets us in all but 4 states online.
Okay.
Bourbon's engines.
Okay, so you could order off online.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Very impressive.
Well, let's go give it a taste and see what you
Yes.
think.
I just love that smell. Reminds me of the basement sometimes.
Not get old.
Yeah.
We're working on that.
What is it?
Working on how to do that. Bottle your own.
Oh.
Like Maker's Mark does that, or
Yeah.
a couple other those big guys do that. We don't do it yet.
Like bottle the smell?
Oh, bottle of smell.
No, they're talking about bottling your own stuff because
It's like cilantro. I love the smell of cilantro. Like make a women's perfume that smells like cilantro.
just rub it all over.
Yeah, right. Well, good. There's our little table. You got 2.
I didn't talk about the gin, how that's made. I can tell you about that real quick.
Mine don't have any of those. I don't think it has it. But I may have to taste it.
Yeah, yours has got the foo-foo pink drink.
Mine's got the fruit fruit.
Yeah, there we go.
Well, everything's arranged from left to right as it goes down on your menu
All
there.
right, cool.
You got 124 proof one that's in the box.
And that's the special.
Be a single barrel.
barrel.
If you're, I know you like the higher stuff. You mentioned that. I could tweak that. Sell you one of those if you'd rather. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, I would like. Yeah, I'm gonna get one of them and the bottle and bond. So.
I'll put this up there for you. How are you? How can we help you today?
Their bottles.
Okay.
Your bottles up there almost looks like Blanton's bottles.
We're not right here.
They're not. There's those right there. Look at those little. That bitch. Was that gin one that you had? Was it dark like that?
I don't know. It was mixed with other stuff, so it was kind of
That was the floral kind of thing, right? Because
Yeah.
that bottle looks like it's got flowers on it.
The one in the middle, the short one.
Yeah, that little bitty one on the bottom shelf.
And they make gin too. They make gin here too.
Yeah, they're
But their bread and butter is.
bourbons. Yeah.
What's the
You know,
turnaround time for gin?
what's cool, I think, is it's like they're so close to the Dueling Grounds. I mean, like, but it's like one of the first distilleries you run into when you're coming into Kentucky. Yeah, I would love to do like a bourbon trail where you spend like 3 or 4 days going to all the different distilleries.
I know.
Can't believe we had a personalized.
Is that not what you thought it was gonna be?
Well, I didn't know how. I mean, I knew it was a small building, but I didn't
Damn
know.
nap. To your left. Near your elbow.
It's because of the mash.
That we make here is one mash bill. So
I hope they're still going. Comment below. There you go. See, she's learning, guys. She's learning. All right. That was good. That was their 6-year special reserve, so 2-barrel blend. I'd like to know the proofs of those, though.
Are you recording me and you or just?
Oh, it's all of us right now. It's just,
How does it look at you in the photo?
huh?
How does it get you in the photo?
Because it's got a wide shot going on right now. I can see all the way over here. Oh, God. Baby, you spilt.
I need it.
Oh, my God. Half my drink went out. Really?
It takes long.
Look at that. It went halfway down.
Babe, I'm so sorry. You want mine?
So this one is the single barrel cast strength. So I'm going to buy one of these. No, stop. No, that's good. Single barrel. So they just bottle it. What? My pay?
This is funny. Look, this is slow mo.
My.
Then what did it pass? Is that funny?
Yeah.
I wish I could save it on all those. Oh, then that's super fast.
What's that on Instagram?
No, it's Snapchat.
Oh.
That's why I love Snapchat so much.
All right, you got 2 more to drink.
Not in a hurry.
Nope. All right. Next is the 4-year small batch bottled in bond Lincoln Pinch. Maya. So tell me, where were you the night of the dueling?
I wasn't here yet.
She wasn't here.
It's really cool though that they really weren't intending on.
Did you see the?
Oh yeah, it's a very
little thing. Isn't it crazy?
It's a tiny
But
little bit.
isn't it fascinating about
Yeah.
history?
Yes.
Never would learn that in school.
But no.
That's very nice.
So
And that.
the mash, the bottle is what, a week?
No. It'll take 4 days for it to ferment.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Then they punch all that down, mix it all up. They send it through the.
Yeah. And that
Um,
takes.
That's a day to run that. Then they take that liquid
To the next thing.
and then pump it into the barrel. So it goes in clear as this. But all that color comes from the oak charring in the barrel.
I meant 1 week to the barrel, not to the bottle.
Yeah.
So it takes 4 years. And who chose 4 years?
The government.
Why not 5 years?
What proof is the single barrel cast strength? And also that special reserve 2-barrel blend.
The single barrel that you're having right there is 117.6, and the 6-year is 110.
Okay.
Wow.
Are you gonna get drunk? I can take advantage of it. Don't you even like any part? Which one did you just drink?
I like the gin and juice.
You like that was a like face?
No, that wasn't. That's not apple pie. Old fashioned. It's got bourbon. It's got Kentucky apple pie.
I just got
Higher proof stuff. We haven't opened one yet back here, but yeah, there's 2 different bottles up here.
Y'all put your initials on the ones that you bottle?
I bottled all these.
Oh, okay. So, okay, that's cool.
I was looking because there's it might be still.
Okay, crazy question. What is that?
Oh, it's just water. Yeah, you can take something down a notch, and I know you don't want to.
And they always say, and I've never done this, they said if you'll add just a couple drops of water to like bourbons, it really will change the flavor profile. But I've never done that, but
Trying it as is, and then once you kind of get it there, see how it changes.
yeah.
I like bourbon barrel aged cab sav.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
as
she
far as
goes-
my bourbon goes. All right, so this is the blueberry.
There's a couple outside. They got tablets.
Yeah, that maple old fashioned. So
Oh, that's good.
is that blueberry you said?
Mhm. I do like that.
What is that one called? Blueberry what?
It's blueberry fruit liqueur. Proof berries. I don't know what the proof is. It's
Oh,
probably-
proof berries.
That's probably
So
why I like it.
probably 20%. So bourbon, maple syrup, black cherry vanilla bitters. I got to take a picture of this because I want to reproduce that at home.
No, you're not.
What do you-
Which one?
what do you mean?
Reproduce.
This.
You're not gonna reproduce that. It'll never taste like that.
It might.
Aren't you taking this with you?
Oh, I guess so.
That seems good too. Is that big turkey's gone?
They got chips, or you can go get your little pizza. I mean, it's early,
I'm
maybe.
getting water.
Yeah, so this one's a maple old fashioned. Come sit down and get a selfie. What were you doing that weird look for just then?
I thought you were a video or something.
Well, no, I want you over there, baby. I can't. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was just trying to get.
Are you? Do you not put your arm out?
Yes. Yeah, do it. Look again. I want to look at the green dot. I found myself looking at my face. Is where my eyes
I know.
are always not looking at the camera.
I know. One more time.
Well, I did it right that time. Let's do it
I
this
wasn't
way.
looking.
Let's do it this way.
Okay. Okay, this is gin and juice. I like me some gin and juice because I like, this is American dry gin, you know, like Tom Collins.
Right.
Elderberry flower liqueur, lemon juice, and pomegranate juice. It's taking you so long
Tate.
over here.
Texan Tate. He's asking about wrenches.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, that's good. Want to taste that?
What's it called?
Gin and juice.
Yeah, there's actually little
Yeah, that tastes like cranberry.
Pomegranate.
Is it? Okay, so this one.
It's left or right. So you.
Well, I know, but I'm going backwards.
Okay.
So this is the Special Reserve Lincoln Pinch. I like that name. Lincoln Pinch. Lincoln Pinch. 6-year Special Reserve, 2-barrel blend.
This one looks called Dueling Grounds.
I'd already researched it.
It's ruined all the surprises.
No, baby.
Than that.
I know. But they don't tell you the proof.
So you star yours or X yours?
Just did a bunch of scratches over them. Kind of X. See?
That makes us a positive person or a negative person. It's like check when you want a positive person. You have
That's
to
nice.
ask the YouTube crowd. Guys, what do y'all think? Is a check mark positive or is an X positive? Y'all tell us. Comment below. Brown sugar, cinnamon syrup. And the only reason I'm doing that is because cinnamon is known to keep your cholesterol level low.
Really?
grab seats. We'll get this out for you.
Cranberry bitters.
Sure.
And then here's your cocktail recipes on the back. That's what you need. Yeah, that.
Oh yeah, there you go. The actual amounts, isn't it?
Yep.
Sip, don't shoot. So, but this is not. Yeah. Go walk over here and see what.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us on this. I know this was a long video and I appreciate you watching to the end. But yeah, be sure to hit like and comment and subscribe and tell your friends. And thanks for coming along.